Hello everyone and welcome back once again to the Chinese Grand Prix. We're back with episode 5.5 of our F1 My Team career mode. Yes, of course, if you missed out on the video that went live earlier on today, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. Of course, with the all-new sprint format here in F1 of course, we went through, we did free practice, and obviously all of the sprint stuff, and today we are coming back in with main qualifying and the real GP, of course. So, yeah, like I said, go back, check that one out. I might, to be honest, in the future, depending on how long this video ends up, just start combining them all into one video, like I did over on the main channel. So once again, let me know sort of your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below. But of course, yeah, we had a decent run through the sprint race. I'm looking forward to the Grand Prix ahead because we are meant to be seeing changeable conditions as we get towards the end of the GP. We learned a lot from that first kind of 10-lap precursor to the Grand Prix itself. So I'm hoping this time round as we move into qualifying, hopefully I won't end up last again.
Well, here we go again. Welcome back to Shanghai. Welcome back to qualifying in China. And this is a technical, tricky track. Whoever takes pole is going to deserve it.
Well, Alex Jakes there repeating what he said yesterday. Clearly has only got so many lines that he can use inside this game. But of course, yeah, for this short qualifying then,
P19.
we've only got the 2 sets of the soft compounded tyre. Normally, anyway, we've only got the chance to go for 2 runs here. As George Russell all over my gearbox down in towards turn 1. Yeah, probably wanted to time that a little bit better, didn't you, George, to be honest, as he's going to have a look down the inside. We cannot afford to waste time battling each other here, so I'm going to pinch him to the apex through that first corner and try and get the power down. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, once again, we have only got the 1 session to try and make the magic happen. I've also opted, yeah, for a slightly lower downforce package, as that apex curve is lethal. So hopefully that's going to give me a little bit more straight line speed. As we said, these S's are normally where you really want the high downforce, and of course, especially with now how easy traction is on this year's game. Oh, you know, we can obviously afford to sacrifice a little bit more through the snail sections as well. As yeah, Russell, I mean, these laps have not been ideal. Also not ideal, as I completely forgot to use the overtake mode throughout the entirety of this lap, so I'm sure Russell now is probably going to fly past me with a slipstream. But we're going to drain the battery right the way down this back straight. 210 miles an hour, that might be the quickest I've gone so far inside F1 I don't actually know where VMAX is or anything like that on this year's title, but through the final corner, attack that curb on the inside, drain the battery on the run towards the line. 133.7. We do go quicker than George, but once again, slower than a Yumu. Trying to find some real estate to get back out then onto my final lap. Everyone else here, I think, is on a lap, so we've basically got to push on through these final couple of corners, otherwise we're not going to have enough time to get round. I feel like George Russell might have been completely screwed over here, but he has moved his way up the order. We only need a couple of tenths if we want to try and get past a Yumu, but the rest of the fields are down into the 132s. But maybe with George Russell out of the way, hopefully Lando Norris, yep, he's going to completely ruin me. Love that, thanks Lando. Come on, move out of the way, sir. Blue flag's still on this game. They're better, but they're not fantastic, as what is that? How can the AI see that I'm on a lap? We are 6 tenths up, though. But I'm sure we're going to lose a bit of time around the second half of the lap. And why, of all people now, is George Russell the one that actually gets out of the way? Tell you what, it would be nice to see like the AI have like 5-place grid drops and things like that for illegal blocking and qualifying. They can do it to each other a little bit, but they don't tend to do it to the human player. So we'll try and drain the battery as much as we can out onto this back straight. We're going to watch that delta slowly seep away from us, though. As are we going to be able to go quicker than anyone that isn't my teammate? Braking nice and tidy in towards that final couple of corners. Try and use a little splash of battery once again. It's so important that you end up with no charge. Oh, Lewis really threw me off there through the final corner. We'll sacrifice a bit of time, but it's a 1-second improvement, and it's still only good enough for P21.
Goodbye for now then. We are really just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well, a very, very different grid to yesterday's sprint race then. This time around, Lewis Hamilton taking the pole on a 1:31.3 there. Charles Leclerc only good enough for P3 at the end of the session. Perez does a much better job, gets himself back hopefully into the points by the end of the GP there, but still quarter of a second away from Daniel Ricciardo. The car still is lacking that ultimate pace, but with changeable weather conditions on the horizon, anything can happen as we go into the Grand Prix.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. A race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone for turn 14. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Perez, Sainz, Norris, Stroll, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Magnussen, Zhou, Gasly, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Mr. Monaco, Iwasa, and Logan Sargent. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me, a real authority on all things motor racing. It's a warm welcome back to Anthony Davidson. Things seem comfortable, they seem stable right now. That's a positive, but do they need to be pushed to the next level?
Well, that's the thing, you know, as a driver, it's easy to feel like you're the individual, it's all about you, and, you know, you want to further your career the best you can, but you have to have the team hat on as well and play the team game, work with your teammate as best you can. It's not an easy balance to figure out.
Right, back of the grid. I mean, there is literally only one direction we can go from here, so try and move forward and see if we can get something out of it.
Hang on a minute, I qualified a Yubu and Logan Sargent's got some penalties, so Mark getting some sass on before we get into the Chinese GP, maybe getting me a little bit fired up. And honestly, I'm not convinced a one-stop strategy is going to be the way to go this afternoon. I'm going to start on the mediums and really try and extend them into the afternoon, and then we might try and do either a double soft stint or maybe, I mean, we haven't got two sets of mediums. I think that's the real problem here. So we'll try and take those mediums as far as we can, and then maybe we'll look at seeing if we can take the softs 8 or 9 laps ago each towards the end of the day. It's an aggressive call, but it might be the one we have to try and make here. We're definitely not going to be able to take him 15 laps, though. But that rain towards the end of the race is going to make things very, very interesting, depending on how heavily it falls. Let's do this thing, though. Chinese Grand Prix. We need to be aggressive off the start. It is 5 red lights. A mighty long hole, but it is lights out. And away we go there, unless your name's Oscar Piastri. Not a good start by the McLAREN man, who's on that set of the hard compounded tyres. So we're going to have to try and have a look down the inside at turn 1 of absolutely anybody and everybody we can here. It's a very, very aggressive manoeuvre, but we've got to make it happen. Local boy, Zhou Guanyu, make just a little bit of contact with him, make sure we don't do anything too bad, as Magnussen and Alonso getting the elbows out just up in front. And we go all the way the long way around the Kick Sauber cars to make our way down to the hairpin. Alonso, I hope you see me. He just about did. And it's not normally the Aston Martin car we're battling with, but it is the one we've chose today. 8 places gained on lap 1 this time round, so we went 2 better than we were even able to manage yesterday there, as Bottas and Kevin Magnussen trying to have a bit of a squabble. Albon in that Williams car, I believe. Yeah, Williams, of course, still looking for that first point of the year, but I'm sure Magnussen the same over at the Haas Formula 1 team as well. There, of course, now this is the only series we see Kevin Magnussen in inside F124 for the time being. Having a lot of fun in the driver career mode the driver career mode, aren't we, over on the main channel. But it looks like Hamilton's had a stinker of a start. I'm expecting Alonso to get past me here. We might have less downforce, but it's certainly still not less than the AIs. Here goes Fernando. Try and force him a little bit defensive, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to do a lot against the Aston. He does get a little bit scared, though, around Kevin Magnussen, and once again, just like we seemingly be doing every single lap in the sprint. We go around the outside of an AI at the hairpin. I can already see a very, very interesting pattern forming this afternoon. It's way too deep down at the end of Sector 2. I believe Stroll has just about been able to hang inside the DRS range of Lando Norris in front of him. But with Fernando and Oscar Piastri down the order with grid penalties, if we can all stay in a bit of a DRS train here and hope that the Aston Martin disconnects from that front group, suddenly there's actually a good few places inside the points that, you know, the likes of Magnussen, Albon and myself are all going to be trying to eye up. It really does depend on how the long-term strategy works, and trying to nurse the tyres as doing that through the final corner, mounting a lot of curb, not going to do us any favours. Oh no, here comes Fernando again then. We've still got Zhou Guanyu as well waiting in the wings. This time round I'm not sure we can do a lot against the Aston Martin, just way too quick, especially in the hands of the Spaniard. We'll try and switch him through that final corner, and that actually didn't work out too badly because I think we've lost the DRS to Magnussen as well, but Fernando should be able to get back in it.
5.4 seconds.
Ayumu, maybe to the surprise of no one, has now dropped to the rear of the field. But yeah, those hard compound tyres definitely take a lot longer to fire up as well. But we are really, really trying to keep our head above water early on, trying to manage the battery to make sure that we don't run out of charge like we did in the sprint. I think now, though, Stroll has officially lost the DRS to that front-running group, so Lando Norris shouldn't be under any pressure from behind him, but hopefully our gaggle of cars are kind of going to bunch back up a little bit, maybe, especially if, you know, Albon tries to go for a move on Sir Lance or anything like that. Need to be way more careful, though. With the tyres, I was hoping we could try and extend this first stint to about lap 12. That would mean then we could do 8 laps on each set of the soft compound tyres. But so far, we're averaging closer to 6% wear than the target I kind of set up for myself at 5. Problem is, I find all of the low-speed corners really do put a lot of pressure on that front left, and of course all these snail sections as well. Oh, there we go. Alex Albon as well now. Didn't actually see that move happen in front, but has got around Sir Lance then. And I'd much rather that Williams be at the front of the train than the Aston Martin. I mean, inevitably Alonso will make his way through this group at some point. But, I mean, what I really ideally want at the moment is just to be able to kind of sit back for a couple of laps. You know, look after the tyres in this train. And then know, obviously, when we get to the pit window that we can try and, you know, do something different.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Well, obviously we're going to stay on the dries as here goes Zhou Guanyu, but that's very interesting then that the team don't have any information on the radar yet about the rain. So I think if it does arrive, it is going to be right towards the end of the Grand Prix. There is, oh, that curve on the inside. You cannot mount on this game still.
Gap to your teammate behind, 9.0 seconds.
I've only just noticed on the mini-map, Owasa has completely fallen off the back of the grid. As Magnussen, they're now finally trying to make a move on Valtteri Bottas to get Haas into their first points-paying position of the year. The problem everyone's now got is anytime you go for a move, someone else is going to be there trying to capitalise. It's starting to shape up. This Shanghai Formula E race was last weekend, and they have a real problem now where the cars basically just bunch up for 90% of a race and then go all out in the final 3 laps. That's honestly the vibes it's giving me at the moment, as Bottas will hang on, but they both drop back from Albon and Stroll in front. The tyre wear warning light has now flashed up as we go on to lap 11, but again, I feel like because I've said it so many times, where there's so much grip and so much traction and high-speed downforce on this year's game, unless you really unsettle the car, it's actually alright to drive these tyres, you know, in towards the 70% range as a stint goes on. We need to get this first set to the end of lap 12, just so we can try and split the other two 8 and 8. I'm going to showcase how much we really notice it. Zhou Guanyu now trying to look to my outside in towards the final couple of corners. It's only when I get a bad run does the local boy actually get an opportunity. He's going to try and switch me on the exit, gets a bit of a wobble himself. His mediums can't be in much better shape, and again can't quite complete the move. While confirming to the team then, we are going to be boxing in the end of this lap, and I'm sure we might see some other medium runners diving in. Don't know if anyone in that front group is on the mediums, as once again, here comes Zhou Guanyu. Maybe a little bit more confidence this time round. Again, though, can't quite complete it. As we'll get around him. 73% front wear on that left. We have absolutely destroyed this set. It's first time round making our way into the pit lane then here. Nice and easy, thank you. Yeah, obviously we're going to be out at the rear of the field. I'm staggered, though. Every other medium compound runner has been able to go just that little bit further than me. I'm also hoping that this set of softs that they're going on to doesn't have much, if any, wear at all on them. They are a used set from qualifying.
Okay, off we go, back into the race. That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit, or receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Well, that is really bad. I'd forgot to factor in, of course, all the laps we do in qualifying on these soft compound tyres, so we're either going to have to nurse this a whole lot more, or really pray that the other set is no worse off, because that has put a spanner in the works.
Okay, this is not your true position. They haven't pitted yet, so don't waste time fighting them. They're going to be coming in soon.
Mark, there we go. He did also confirm to me that they are on a one-stop strategy, so I think most of the AI are either going medium-hard or hard-medium, which is a bit of a shame for us. All I can really hope for, of course, is that that rain falls before we make our final pit stop, and we might be able to capitalise. Are we going to get the jump on Bottas here and Yuki Tsunoda? We should still hopefully be with Bottas, if not ahead of him, which we will. So, yeah, these soft tyres, they've got a lot of grip off the start, but it's just about how far we can pull away. Yeah, we've made quite the strategy error here. I forgot the soft tyres pretty much just rip themselves apart. The fact we put 25% wear on them in 2 laps means we might get 2, maybe 3 more laps on them before we're going to have to bail onto a set of the hard compound tyres anyway. So what we've really done here now is basically thrown a pit stop away. I can't get over the fact we've effectively chewed up a set of soft compound tyres in literally 3 laps here.
6.2 seconds.
We might re-emerge in the points before we box. But, I mean, yeah, at the moment, effectively now we're an entire pit stop behind Bottas. Would we have been able to hang on a set of hards? I don't know. I think always the tyre wear is going to be difficult here. But I just cannot believe the way this is unravelled. Well, if Awasa isn't pitting then at the end of this lap, we're going to have to dive in again. 65% wear, 50% worth of wear in 4 laps here. I have never seen anything like it in this game, and we've actually been pretty gentle with those tyres as well. Ayumu is boxing, so we are going to have to do 1 more lap as well, which is even more painful because these tyres already feel pretty wrecked.
Ayumu is in the pits now.
I cannot believe we, just didn't expect the wear to be this bad. We are going to be able to 9th. Bottas has got the ultimate breakaway from all of the drivers he was battling with, so he looks set to pick up more points for Kick Sauber. But, yeah, for us, this is pain in a nutshell. I mean, yep, I said the mediums don't fall off too badly here. These soft compound tyres have absolutely been wrecked. Oh, that's not what I needed. It's not what I needed, Mark. I'm sorry. Oh, I keep clicking the wrong button. Come on, man. Albon's just pushing me for some reason.
Okay, radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
The team don't even think then it's going to rain before the end of the afternoon, as we have created the ultimate logjam here. Albon's the only... So stupid. So stupid. That was completely my fault as well, I know it, but I was not expecting Albon to slow down as much as he did there. Hopefully, the team are going to put a new wing on the car as well, and well, the only person we might be able to beat is our teammate. Please say they're putting a new wing on the car. Please say they're putting a new wing on the car. This has been an absolute disaster. Are they? They're not putting a new wing on. And we've got problems trying to get the front left off as well. Right even. So stupid. So stupid. I cannot believe that. 10 laps to go. No chance of rain either.
Right front wheel. I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put it behind us now and get back into this race. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
I mean, we're on fresh tyres, so understandably the loss of downforce isn't going to feel bad yet. But especially being on that side of the car as well, where the tyre's taking more of a pounding. I mean, if we can beat Ayumu, fantastic. But this is basically now just a lonely trudge to the end of another race. Problem is, of course, we've got to change that front wing. We've lost a second this lap to our teammate, despite being on fresher tyres. There desperately needs to be an option on this game to not change the tyres in a pit stop, Because, of course, I can't use this set of hards again, or I'll have the box again to go back on them here. So we're going to have to go onto a set of softs so we can change the wing, and then at some point have to go back onto another set of hard tyres before the end of this race, because we won't get to the end on the soft compound. This race has just been a complete and utter write-off in the end. After we looked so good early on, one little strategy blunder, and, well, we are just paying the ultimate price. Come on, go, go, go. Yeah, look at that.
Go, go, go. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. You only have to stop once now. One stop left.
Yep, we'll be lucky to get four laps out of these tyres. Of course, now they're telling me this. I mean, we're probably not going to see it before the end of the race. It might just be the final lap we start getting a sprinkling, but the other thing I've got, of course, is when I inevitably pit again, we're going to go a lap down. And we're kind of just hanging out here for a safety car. I don't actually think we've seen a single DNF so far this season as well. Reliability amongst every single team has been fantastic. So if someone wants to go for a spin or a crash or anything late on in the day here, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Otherwise, we've got about 2 more laps before we need to box. And I mean, then after that, yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do under safety car procedure to try and get a lap back. So it might end up being we just try and save the mileage on the engine. But I think you get a good idea of the dependency we had on the DRS early on here. The fact that, obviously, now the tyres are cooked again, but even on a fresh-ish set of the soft compound tyres, we've still taken nothing out of Oasa over these last couple of laps. Really makes me believe, again, we likely weren't going to be scoring points here. Maybe it's a little bit of copium for myself as we dive into the pit lane for the 4th time this afternoon. Yeah, this race, I mean, I thought Japan was bad in the end. I thought we were a little bit gutted with the way, obviously, we just kind of fell off the pace of the other cars in a way that we haven't really seen since Bahrain. But we've still got a long way to go in this series, as Max Verstappen will lap me. I believe all of the other front runners as well are going to be long gone.
Okay, go, go, go. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
And this is basically just get to the end to keep our finishing tally up. But, yeah, what an absolute disaster. Well, there you go then. Fun fact for you all as well. I try and make sure I learn as much as I can every time you play.
10 to 15 minutes.
Even if you're a lap down on a car, you do still get DRS on them, which is quite funny, because we've now closed back in on all of the front runners here. I mean, I think that's Hamilton and Perez still duking it out for P2. Verstappen, to the shock of nobody, is long gone up in the lead of the GP. But I guess we'll watch these guys battle it out towards the end of the afternoon. Maybe Ferrari can try and hound George Russell. Well, we've said it so many times before over the last couple of years, but if Max Verstappen wasn't in Formula 1, the series would be absolutely insane. Currently, we've got, a 6-car fight for P2? Almost 5, as I so nearly careened into the back of Lando Norris.
Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
But as everyone rounds their way then to start the final lap of the Chinese Grand Prix, well, since we won that race back in Albert Park, I'm yet to finish not last in a race. No idea what that was down towards turn 1. I think someone went through a braking board somewhere, but I don't quite get how. But are we going to see Hamilton defend from Checo Perez? Are we going to see anybody else try and get a run here as they all start using their battery towards the end of the race there? We've definitely had the pace over Ayumu and all of the other back markers towards the end. But it's a shame, of course, it took us 3 extra pit stops to try and get to that point today. I think one-stop strategies are still likely going to be the way to go inside F124, even in a car that is really, really struggling on its tyres here. But yeah, we've got to, we've got to dig deep. We were expecting to have a lot of tough races early on in the campaign. Albert Park, if anything, just kind of gave us a false sense of hope, especially after Jeddah as well. But of course, we'll return next weekend to Miami, a circuit that I do quite enjoy as well there. But Sergio Perez trying to wind up to get a run on Lewis Hamilton. He's a long way back, though. He might find himself more under pressure from George Russell, which he will. Russell is going to get to the inside of the Red Bull car, and looks like one of the Ferraris is going to follow him. Almost 3 wide down in towards the hairpin for the final time, and it is all going wrong for Sergio Perez. More contact made as Charles Leclerc will try and make it through. Max Verstappen will win the Chinese Grand Prix, and a return to the top step of the podium. Perez will hang on, making it a Mercedes double podium, and Charles Leclerc only P5.
It's a performance to be proud of from our Chinese Grand Prix winners today.
Well, another race victory today, and you can clearly see they're starting to believe in themselves more and more. You get to a stage where you become very hard to beat as a driver when you keep putting in performances like this one.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, there we go then. Ferrari might have had the advantage in Saturday's sprint, but it is Red Bull over the longer run that clearly still reigns supreme at the top there. Max Verstappen taking home victory here in the Chinese Grand Prix there. Hamilton just under 10 seconds back in the end ahead of Russell and Sergio Perez there, with both of those Ferraris 5th and 6th. Lando ahead of Bottas, Alonso and Albon able to get Williams' first point of the year there, with Alpine and Haas both narrowly missing out come the checkered flag. A disappointing day again for ourselves, and Iwasa there a little way off the pace for him. And as we take a look at the Drivers' Championship, then, well, Verstappen opens up that gap to 39 points there, as everyone behind him still trading points off of one another. Lando Norris now tied with me for P9 overall in the standings, and I'm still expecting Bottas by the end of the year to get the jump on me as well, with just how strong that Kick Sauber car still seems there. I'm staggered Zhou Guanyu hasn't scored a point either. Constructors-wise, Red Bull with a 51-point lead over Mercedes there, who build up a little bit of a buffer once more from Ferrari. And again, our battle this year seems like it's going to be with Kick Sauber, but Williams getting off the starting block means it's just Alpine, Haas and V-Carb who are still yet to score. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula One returns, ready for another sprint weekend next time out in Miami. You guys do not want to miss it.